I have 7:30, but well, I won't argue. It looks like
That's
we
the
have
lower end of town time.
Who's got the official time?
7:31, that's what the computer says.
All right, so the December meeting of the Greenwich Township Land Use Board is called to order. Susanna, do you want to?
This is a regular meeting of the Land Use Board of the Township of Greenwich. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Meeting Publics Act, and a notice was published in the Star Gazette and Express Times newspaper. Notice was posted on the municipal bulletin board in the Township Administration Building in Greenwich Township, New Jersey, and notice was filed with the Township Clerk.
Perfect. And
You
I
gonna
don't have
review?
the agenda in front of me. I'm sorry. A roll call, is that next?
Well, I think she's supposed to review the rules and procedures for a virtual meeting.
Well, we decided we weren't going to read that whole thing verbatim.
Oh,
We
it's
could just-
posted, it's posted, right? On the
Yes,
website?
correct. So, but maybe a short version that,
Or just a
Rules.
reference,
Reference
There's
to
a
the
special
rules.
rule that the board's adopted and they're posted on the website.
Yep.
is everybody happy with that?
Yep.
Okay. And roll call?
Paul Beam,
I know he's here.
He was there.
here.
Oh, there he is,
Joseph?
yep.
Joseph Chitello,
Here.
Frank Marchetta,
Here.
Ray Buckwalter,
Here.
Bruce Williams,
Here.
Kathy Cullen is excused, Gary Hill,
Here.
Don Marie Condas,
Here.
Mark Scuderi is also excused, Joseph Yama,
Here.
Jeremy Blunt,
Here.
Bill Cognac,
Here.
Pam Peslis,
Here.
and Board Attorney John Drill,
Here,
Board Engineer Mike Finelli,
Here.
and Board Planner Beth McManus.
I talked to Beth this week. We didn't have anything for her, so I told her she didn't have to attend. Sorry, forgot about that.
and Ray, someone's gonna make a motion to excuse those other board members. The board secretary can't simply say they're excused. The board has to excuse them.
Does that include professionals or just board members?
No, just board members.
So is this something new that you got in
No.
a Cracker Jack box? Because we've
No,
never
no, you-
done that in 15 years.
No, you've made motions to excuse people before.
I think the president made or the chairman said that they were excused as opposed to the secretary saying it. I think that was the only difference.
Okay, so Ray,
Yeah, I've never made a motion, but
okay, just say it. Just have the chair say it because that's what the statute says, that the board has to excuse them.
Okay, so Kathy Cullen and Mark Scuderi are officially excused.
Great.
And they did contact us prior to the meeting and let us know that they had conflicts and they weren't going to be here. Is that satisfactory, Mr.
Yep.
Drew?
You got it.
Okay. So I think the first thing on the agenda is the minutes from November. So does anybody have any comments, corrections, amplifications, or anything on the minutes?
I think it would actually be October's minutes, correct?
I'm sorry, October. Yep.
Right, yeah.
If I don't hear anybody jumping in with any changes, so I'll ask for a motion and a second to approve.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Thanks, Bruce.
Second.
Joe seconded. It's kind of hard to do.
Right, because you don't know who was there. It's easier. just to do a
Yeah.
roll
So
call.
let's just do a roll call.
Paul Beam,
Yes.
Joseph Chitello,
Yes.
Frank Marchetta,
Yes.
Ray Buckwalter,
Yes.
Bruce Williams,
Yes.
Don Marie Condas,
Yes.
Joseph Yama,
Yes.
Jeremy Blunt,
Yes.
and Pam Peslis.
Yes.
Okay. Motion
And I
carries.
abstained because I was absent.
Right.
Gary,
So the next item, we have two resolutions. Zana, do you just want to read the first one from the agenda? I think
that
everyone
is,
will remember these, but
I don't have it in front of me.
I got it. Resolution 2020-05. It's the Phillipsburg Greenwich LLC, care of Madison Properties. People recall that was the Ross Stores, Ross Dress for Less. And without reading everything that was granted, this is a memorializing resolution. It is the second draft. It was dated October 28, 2020. And let's confirm, Susanna, all their escrow is paid up. Is that correct?
Correct.
So the people eligible to vote, and someone would have to make a motion: Chicello, Williams, Cullen, Condis, Scudera, Fiamma, Cognac, and Teslis. Someone make a motion and someone second it.
Did you mention me? I'm
And
sorry.
Buckwalter can also, sorry about that.
John, did you say my name on that?
No, you did not vote on that.
I don't think I missed any meetings.
John, I think I have everyone eligible to vote. Am I?
Yeah, I couldn't have missed a meeting, or you wouldn't have had one. I set up all the Zoom meetings.
Okay, so Marquetta must be in there then.
John, the only ones you don't have are the two that are absent, right? Everybody else was present, I think, from what I looked at.
I have 10, yes, everyone that's present now is eligible.
Eligible to vote?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So this case, if I remember right, this was going all the way back to maybe May or June?
It started a long time ago. It was for the grant of minor site plan approval with the D6 height variance. Frank, that's why you couldn't participate. It had a D variance in it.
Oh, okay, that
okay.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
The size of the sign, if I'm correct.
The height of the sign, and that's also why Paul
Paul, yeah.
couldn't participate, because it was a D6 height variance, because they were increasing the height of the facade to put these signs on. The actual signage variances were C2 variances, but the facade modifications required the D6.
Got it.
All right, I'll make the motion to adopt resolution 2020-05.
Second.
Roll call?
Joseph Chitello,
Yes.
Ray Buckwalter,
Yes.
Bruce Williams,
Yes.
Gary Hill,
Yes.
Don Ray Condas,
Yes.
Joseph Fiamma,
Yes.
Jeremy Blunt,
Yes.
Bill Cognac,
Yes.
and Pam Peslis.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. So the reason that this took so long to come to us as a resolution, was this because of escrow issues or something?
I believe the answer to that question is yes. And that's also, I believe, why the next resolution has taken so long to come to us. And the next resolution,
Yep.
Resolution 2020-06, which is the Chad Wilson Trinity Heating and Air trading as Trinity Solar. And this was the resolution memorializing the grant of the C2 variance to allow roof-mounted solar panels facing a public street. And on this one, this is the third draft, because actually Dawn Marie and I believe Kathy Cullen pointed out to me that they basically wanted the resolution to recognize that the board wasn't extremely happy about how this thing got to them, but that they judged the case based on the merits, and they put aside their unhappiness. And so I added that stuff into this third draft, and this is, the third draft is October 29, 2020.
Okay,
And-
so
Yeah, the people eligible to vote on this are Bean, Chicello, Marquetta, Buckwalter, Hill, Condis, and Scudera, because Williams and Cullen ended up voting no. So they're not eligible to vote on the resolution. Only the people that voted in favor. Again, Bean, Chicello, Marquetta, Buckwalter, Hill, Condis, and Scudera.
John, I missed the beginning of that. This is for,
The solar on the roof.
the street-facing solar panels.
The one on
First-
Brill Road, Frank, in Wyndham
oh,
Farm?
God, yes. All
Yeah,
right, that's
this is
not
the one that we found out like the night of the meeting that they were already installed. They weren't asking
Right,
permission, they
this
were
is
asking for
different than-
forgiveness.
Yeah, this is different than the solar ordinance change we were talking about.
No, this has nothing to do with
Correct,
this.
nothing to do
Yeah,
with it.
nothing to do with that. All right, yep. Now I remember. I got it.
Okay, so we need a motion and a second.
Second.
So who made the motion?
I missed the motion.
Oh,
Motion.
Okay,
second.
Okay. Roll call?
Yep.
Okay, I'll call the roll for you, Susanna. Bean,
Yes.
Chichella,
Yes.
Marqueta,
Yes.
Buckwalter,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Condis,
Yes.
and Scudera is absent. Okay,
Motion carries. So the last order piece of business we have is the extension for the Greenwich Dumont Urban Renewal Project, Block 26, Lot 2. They are here seeking an extension to July 11th for final site plan approval. The application's 2019-01, carrying over from last year. So
and we have Kate Coffey representing the applicant here, and also I see that Jeff, oh my God, I'm spacing on your last name.
Jeff Long.
Jeff Long, who's the applicant's representative, is here. And I would suggest that be very brief, but I think you should start off by telling the board the good news that happened yesterday. So why don't we get Mr. Long sworn in? Mr. Long, can you raise your right hand? And do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this very brief proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So Kate, why don't you take it away?
Sure. So good evening, everybody. As you know, I represent Greenwich Dumont Urban Renewal Associates LLC, and this is Kate Coffey from Day Pitney this evening. We were approved by this board on July 11th, 2019 for preliminary site plan as well as C variances. Pursuant to condition 3 of the resolution of approval, we were required to file for final site plan by July 11th, 2019, or the variances that were granted by the resolution would expire. We have applied to extend that preliminary site plan approval as well as the variances granted for 2 reasons. One is we were in the process of pursuing low-income housing tax credits.
For the record, they applied for the extension before they expired. It's just that due to a bunch of scheduling mishaps, the board didn't get to schedule this until now. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Drill. So I was just going to add, so what the applicant has been doing, number one, and most importantly, is pursuing low-income housing tax credits, which are necessary to the financing of this 100% affordable development. And secondly, we have been working on our final site plan, but of course we have been faced with many delays as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. We have registered the resolution of approval with the New Jersey Permit Extension Act of 2020. So the approvals are extended under the Permit Extension Act, but we wanted to complete the process of also seeking an extension approval from this board. Mr. Drill indicated that we have good news, and Mr. Long, I'm happy to share it, but perhaps you would prefer to.
Sure. I love I love being able to come and talk to the board. It just so happened that yesterday afternoon we were informed by the NJHMFA that we were successful in our application for low-income housing tax credits, and so we were able to move this development and proposal forward. Very exciting. We were one of 6 of the suburban family applications that was approved out of 18. So it was a very, very competitive application cycle, and we were able to be one of the 6 lucky people who made it through up to the other side.
Okay, so Jeff, don't be, not the lucky stuff. Jeff worked with the township committee because
Absolutely.
he knew that the competition was going to be so stiff that there were going to be a bunch of people tied for 93 points, which is the maximum number of points. So Jeff appeared before the township committee on a number of occasions to try to work out something with them where they could make some change or changes so that they could get what's called tiebreaker points. And basically, Jeff, of the 18, how many had 93 points?
All 18.
Okay? 18 applicants had 93 points. So you had 18 tied with the maximum number of points. And Jeff is his company is one of 6 that on tiebreakers got the award. So
Yeah.
it's not only kudos to Jeff for coming up with solutions, but it's kudos to the township committee for agreeing to make a couple changes. And Frank, why don't you explain what change was made, or if you want Jeff to do it, that let them get that enough the tiebreaker so they were able to get this award.
Yeah, so Jeff, well, I'll let Jeff explain it, but it basically came down to about 3 different suggestions, right, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
And we took what we thought was the best deal for the township in order to get this through, which was just to add, was it 4 bedrooms? Was that what?
Yeah, that's what did it. That's what did it. And
In other words, they added bedrooms, not units.
right.
Not units, 4 bedrooms, and as opposed to the town committing more money, right? That was one option.
Mhm.
As opposed to the town, what was the other one that was?
Taking a lower pilot rate.
Yeah, lower pilot rate. So,
Yeah. So
So-
it. Yeah.
yeah,
So
go
I
ahead.
mean, and I gotta say, you know, it's definitely hats off to the council. You know, they took a lot of time. We worked for months back and forth to figure out what the solution was, and we all knew, hey, listen, we gotta get it this round. There was no ifs, ands, or buts, and you know, we crunched numbers, and it was a real collaborative effort. And I think that the council had a lot of good input, and basically this decision that they made, and it really was their decision, was what put us over the top, because just to give everyone an idea, the tiebreaker was so tight that, you know, basically what you're talking about is it goes down to tax credits per bedroom, and the difference between being on the winning side of the line and the losing side of the line was basically $100. $100 per tax credit bedroom, which is
Right.
like a minuscule amount. So every bedroom counted, and it was 4 was the number, and 4 got us right smack in the middle. We came in 4th out of the 6 top that were awarded credit. So we weren't the 6 out of 6, which was good, and we weren't 1 out of 6, which was also good. So you're right in the middle of the pack. We were safely through, and the application was done. Also, just want to be clear, there were people who were dinged for application incompleteness, people who were very good at their jobs who ended up not getting applications done. And usually the biggest issue with that is stuff that comes from the township. So it's a huge credit to the township that all the paperwork that the clerk put together, that your professionals worked with, and that the council made sure that all the signatures were there, all the I's were dotted, and the T's were crossed. That's what got it through.
The only remaining question they're going to have for you on this extension is, okay, they grant the extension. When are you coming in for final site plan approval?
Right. So first off, we're going to have a kickoff meeting next week internally, just to get all the design professionals, Ms. Coffey and everyone, to talk about what a time frame is going to be. My guess is that we're looking at like 90 to 120 days to get in. I think the biggest open issue in my mind is going to be going to the county and getting a meeting with the county to basically make sure that the plans that we submit back to this board are in conformance with what the county would require from us. There was a lot of discussion about sidewalk, so we need to have that conversation, but more so, there was also conversation on the county end with what was a stormwater feature close to their county road, which I know was an issue for them. So it's something that we need to thrash through with them. So we are that in my mind is probably the most important order of business. And that's something that'll happen hopefully in January. And then once we figure that out, I figure 60, 90 days to clean up the plans, get them back in front of the board. So hopefully, you know, and like I said, this is all rough estimates, but my goal would be is that, you know, late spring, be back here in front of the board, maybe like May, to be heard for final. And, you know, and then after that, it's just resolution compliance. I mean, if I had to be a guessing man, I think that usually takes 9 months from getting tax credits, 9 months to 10 months, somewhere in that, to go to a closing table if we're all moving well and there's no hiccups with county or DEP or anything like that, which I don't anticipate, but we'll see. But that's just, like I said, don't hold me to it. It's just the back of the napkin numbers and dates, all best case scenario stuff. So the game plan is that third quarter of 2021, we'll be breaking ground hopefully, and that's the story.
Hey, Jeff, first off, congratulations. And secondly, I obviously know the county engineering department pretty well. We work with them all the time, and on both the private and the public side. So if you get the meeting scheduled and you'd like me to come along, let me know.
No, absolutely. I appreciate the offer, and I think that it would be very valuable because part of what we want to do here is do this one more time, come back before this board one more time, make sure it's all cleaned and buttoned up. So to have your input and your insight, and also to make sure that we're all sane from the same scorecard, I think that's going to be important. So thanks for the offer. I'll make sure that Brett coordinates with your office on this stuff, and we'll hit the ground running. Probably, like I said, in January, hit the ground running on this whole thing. So,
all right, I'll wait by the phone.
Well, I think getting the 9% funding for this is certainly really good news for the town. I mean, it was
Yep. A lot of money. If they didn't
yeah,
get that,
it was a big
that's a lot of
concern.
money. Yep.
We still have another project out there, of course, but let's focus on the good one tonight. And
yep.
And so we need to extend the deadline here to July 11th.
Right. What they're asking for is that condition number 3 be modified so they're extended out until July 11, 2022, just to make sure. They don't think they're going to need that, but just to make sure.
Yep.
Exactly.
So July 11th, 2022.
Yes.
That's right.
So what's in the minute says July 11th, 2020, which obviously is not time traveling here. So, okay.
No. That's what the condition,
That's
right.
currently what it is.
that's the current condition, right? They want to extend that July 11, 2020 date to July 11, 2022.
Yeah, it says seeking an extension to July 11,
Oh.
2020. So
Yeah.
it kind of confused me a little bit there.
Yeah,
So
that's a typo.
got it. All right. So, and I assume, John, since I know you're very diligent about following up on all these things, that this extension is not going to cause any problems with any deadlines we have with any other fair share housing people or anything like that. I mean, we're
Right, not at all.
in compliance with everyone, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question, if I may.
Absolutely.
With regards to, and I don't want to sound like the the Donald Downer here, but congratulations on getting everything. But what kind of an impact does that have on the total number? They're saying 4-bedroom. Is it all 4 bedrooms? Is it 10% of them are
No.
4-bedroom? What's the
No,
total number of residency
They
impact?
added 4 additional bedrooms to the entire
Total.
project.
For the whole project.
For the whole project, they added 4 additional bedrooms.
Not 4-bedroom units.
Not
4
4 bedroom
bedrooms in
units.
total.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Which is pretty amazing that change.
Yeah,
Well, if you do the
But,
right, you do the arithmetic. The total value of the tax credits divided by how many the total bedrooms in the place. That's how they did the tiebreaker. So Jeff figured that out. That there's a lot of ways to skin the cat. So if they increase the number of bedrooms to bring that dollar value down, and like you said, it brought it down $100, and the $100 put them into the category of getting the tax credits. If they hadn't done that, they wouldn't have gotten the tax credits.
You should be able to bet on this stuff on Reality Kings. It sounds like a real sounds like an opportunity here somewhere. Well,
just-
again, congratulations. I think it's very good news for the town. I think the last official thing we have to do in 2020 is to ask for a motion and a second to grant the extension to July 11th, 2022 for condition 3.
Yep.
I'll make
Oh,
Make
the
a
mo-
motion
everybody-
if you're looking for one.
I certainly am. Gary,
motion.
you got it? And we
Yep.
need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Frank. And Susanna, roll call?
Paul Beam,
Yes.
Joseph Chichella.
Yes.
Frank Marchetta,
Yes,
Ray Buckwalter,
Yes.
Bruce Williams,
Yes.
Gary Hill,
Yes.
Don Ray Condas,
Yes.
Joseph Fiamma,
Yes.
and Jeremy Blunt.
Yes.
And the motion carries. Fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you
and
very much.
Jeff, before you, oh, I'm sorry, did you want to say something? Ray?
I was just going to say thank you, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Jeff, before you
Yeah.
go, I sent you an email. I know you don't have it now, but when
He
you
sent an email asking you to do a timeline. You just did the
Yeah.
timeline. He wants the timeline in writing.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely. And yeah, Frank, we'll get that, but I just, as I just said, I want to have a kickoff with my guys, get dates and give you guys a better idea of like what the world's going to look like. So
No,
we'll
I
be back to
understand.
you shortly.
Yep, thanks.
Very good. So if anybody's looking at the agenda, the next board meeting, which will be the reorganization meeting scheduled for January 14th. I just wanted to let everybody know, we anticipate a change in planner in 2021. John or Frank may be able to fill in more details that I don't have, but apparently Beth McManus, her firm is actually representing, I believe it's Franklin Township, if I'm not mistaken, on a plan that they have to do one of these warehouses. And in the course of doing that, they're actually fixing to deem a cornfield land in need of redevelopment. That might not be the exact correct terminology,
No,
but
Ray, that's the exact terminology.
and so it's a cornfield, and that seems to be a bit sketchy to some folks that a cornfield would need to be redeveloped. But it turns out that Beth's partner is going to be representing Franklin, and our town is going to be opposing that. So we're going to be on opposite sides of the aisle on this one. And because of that, the township committee has decided to, I think you guys have decided to hire somebody from Clark, Caton and Hints. Is that correct, Frank? Or is that still
No,
not?
there have been no discussions with the town committee on this.
So,
Okay.
Right, so what?
No, I
Frank-
mean for the town.
No,
for the
no,
town.
what
No,
Frank,
want me to fill, I can fill them in.
Frank, look, let me see if I can do it and then tell me
All
if
right.
I'm wrong.
All right.
The township committee would like to follow the lead of the land use board. The township
Okay.
committee, so they want the land use board to hire somebody, and then most likely they're gonna hire that same person as the township planner. They want you guys to choose. They don't want to choose and tell you what to do. They want you to choose, and then they're gonna do what you do.
Right, but
Got it.
just to piggyback on that, so the town committee took an official position on a vote to put a letter out supporting a lawyer that was opposing the land and use of in need of redevelopment. So since the town took an official position on that we oppose it, and Beth's firm was the one that suggested it or approved it for their land use
Well,
board, right?
Right, they issued a planning report recommending
Recommend,
that it be deemed an area in need of redevelopment. The Franklin Planning Board adopted that, held a hearing, and recommended that it be deemed an area in need of redevelopment. And the Franklin Township Committee last week voted to designate it as an area in need of redevelopment. And
Right.
your township committee opposes that, and it's a conflict of position and it's a conflict of opinion, and that's why the township committee indicated that they wanted to change planners, and they brought it to the attention of Ray, who agreed that we should change planners. But again, to repeat, the township committee wants the land use board to pick the new planner. And it just so happens that two of the names, Beth originally came from CCH, then she went and formed her own firm, Kyle and McManus. One of the planners that Ray has interviewed, Kendra Lely, also came from CCH, but she's now starting her own firm. And so that's one of the people that Ray has interviewed, and I don't know how far he's gotten, but that's where it is. And I assume that Ray is going to make a suggestion prior to the reorganization meeting on the new planner.
Yep. So I did speak with Kendra this evening. She seems very competent. I think she said she had 30 years experience, although she looks too young to have that much experience. But she's, her background, she was with Clark Caton and Hintz for a while. She's now, John, she's now with the firm T&M. I'm not
Yes.
sure what that stands for. Is that her own firm?
No, that it's I think she's going to be a partner there, but it's another planning firm.
Okay, so she's going to send me a letter of interest, which I'll forward to you, Frank. She's been deemed a master in several towns for affordable housing. So she's got substantial affordable housing experience, which is probably the heaviest lifting that we'll have to do in our land use board. Will probably be the next round of affordable housing and actually stewarding the current round through to completion. So she's got a lot of experience there. She's also a certified landscape architect, as was Beth. So she has, her input on site plans will be very valuable in terms of the landscape art and, landscape architecture components and that type of thing. So I think it seems to me, from what I know, that that's the most experienced person we'll get at the best rate. She's probably going to be reasonable. She said to me on the phone that she'd be willing to work with us to be consistent with what we're accustomed to in terms of cost. So she seems flexible there, and again has great experience. So Frank, I'll forward that letter to you when I get it, and then you guys can take a look at it. And I think if you're okay with it, I think we should be good to go. And I just wanted to mention, for the record that, Beth did a great job for us. I mean, it's really no reflection on her personally. I talked to her several days ago and let her know what we were doing. She was very professional about it. She understood our position. She understands the conflict kind of puts her in a bad spot. And frankly, I don't think she even supports the idea of the redevelopment strategy. But since her firm has been retained and they're moving forward with that, it kind of puts her in a bad spot. So I know she's not here tonight, but if she were, I would certainly thank her for her service. She's done a good job for us, and there's no ill will there. But strategically, we do have to make a change. So
Yeah,
I think that's it.
I'll just echo what Ray said. I also spoke with her to let her know that it had nothing to do with her performance. Then I also want to thank her for all the service that she's given to the town.
Yeah. Could I add something to this on the heels of this discussion, which is I wasn't prepared to hear or listen to, but for full transparency, I am the engineer in Franklin Township. Now, if you recall, 4 or 5 years ago, is that right, but John, with the last application maybe? 4 or 5 years ago, there was another application in Franklin that came in on the parcel next to this one that was just deemed an area in need of redevelopment in Franklin last week. Township Greenwich took a position of opposition, and I basically stepped down in Franklin.
Right, you recused yourself, and I was hired by the township. I actually appeared and opposed that application, and that application, I believe, ended up getting withdrawn.
Right, they never went forward. Okay.
Right.
This is a different parcel. It's adjacent to the parcel.
Put it this way, Mike, have you weighed in with an opinion that
No.
that cornfield is it?
No.
Okay.
Let me just finish here quick, John.
Okay.
So everybody knows, hears it from me. Jim Kyle, Beth's partner, Kyle McManus is the township planner in Franklin. Jim did write the report. Jim did the testimony regarding the area in need of redevelopment designation. I was at the hearings, and I think if you listen to the tape, I don't think I said a word, because it really is strictly a planning effort. There's no engineering involved whatsoever. So, based upon what I'm hearing tonight, though, there's gonna be a situation coming up that I'm gonna have to
Recuse.
separate myself. So, and John, I'll ask this to you. By me stepping down in Franklin from any involvement with this project and recusing myself from would that solve the
Yes,
problem?
that will solve the problem in Greenwich if you're recused from Franklin.
Right. So just so everyone knows, again, I don't know what the next steps are for the Franklin project.
Well, I can tell you what the next steps are. Township Committee designated it. Now they're going to do a redevelopment plan. The redevelopment plan is going to be approved. Then they're going to come in for a site plan. So they might ask for your input on the redevelopment plan, so you recuse. There's certainly, when the site plan comes in, you would certainly have to review it,
Of
so you
course.
recuse.
So just so everyone here is aware, and I'll make the same statements next week at the Township Committee meetings, so it's full transparency, as the saying goes. But I will recuse myself from anything involved with the Franklin redevelopment project for that proposed warehouse. So.
Mike, I appreciate you, the transparency. It's certainly important. And, I'm glad you're recusing yourself in Franklin and
Well,
not in Greenwich. So.
Well, thank you. My roots are a little deeper here, Ray, I think, as you know.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
but
I
thank
understand.
John, one question to you.
Yep.
All of that, all the things you said that still need to happen there,
Yep.
that doesn't go forward though until it's cleared in the courts, right? Isn't there gonna be, or does it? And isn't there gonna be a challenge?
Yes. So the attorney, Rob Simon, who represents at least one objector, I spoke with him on the phone yesterday. They are going to file a prerogative writ action, but that doesn't stay anything. So if Franklin Township wants to go ahead with that lawsuit pending, they would do that at their own risk. Now, just so you know, this will be the second time that they did this, because the first time they did it, Rob Simon challenged it in court and it got overturned and they had to do a redo.
Of course, of conflict of interest, which.
Correct.
Yeah.
For two other conflicts of interest, which they didn't fix those conflicts by having those people recuse. So I just want to be clear, Franklin Township does not have to wait until after the court case gets resolved. And if you ask how long will that court case take, probably a year.
I think at this point, can you let everybody on the land use board know what they're trying to put there? What this
I
is
think
all
it-
about?
I think it's a matter of public record, a very
Okay.
large warehouse.
Very large warehouse.
Where exactly?
Right by, what's the road that goes across where the trucks?
And Mike Finelli, Mike, don't say
Bloomsbury
anything.
Road?
Okay, gotcha.
Maybe Mike could shake his head or.
No, Mike,
John,
Mike.
you tell me. I think it's the road that goes through the truck stop,
Yeah, it's basically exit 6, which is Bloomsbury Road.
Bloomsbury Road, okay.
which goes into Asbury, straight into Asbury, right? Yeah. So it's right across from Lime Kiln Road.
So it's going to be on Asbury Anderson Road. Is that the road?
No, it's Bloomsbury Road.
Oh, Bloomsbury there.
Bloomsbury, Asbury.
Yeah. So it's past it's
Right
past,
past the truck stop, if you keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
right, but it's past the doggy daycare place. It's going up there, right?
Yeah, County Route 632, I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on that road. Isn't it on the next one up? So if you're going down 173, you make a left first for doggy daycare, or you keep going straight and then that's the truck stop. I think that's the road.
Oh, it's after the truck stop.
Oh, no, it's okay. So maybe it's the doggy daycare road. I don't know.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
It would make sense for us to oppose the one off of County Route 632. The other one, we wouldn't be that close to it. You gotta go all the way past the other thing.
Again, the way I look at it, it's not for the land use board to take it. This is up to the township committee. If anyone's going to oppose anything, it should be the township committee. You guys hear cases, you do master planning. Township committee, if they want the township to oppose something, that should be for them.
Hey, Ray, is it just I want, if I can I give everybody here an update on all the proposed warehousing around here?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we already have the large warehouse on Route 22. I think it's over 1 million square feet. I don't know what percentage of it is active right now. It's not 100% active, I don't think. Then we have another proposed warehouse in Pohatcong. John, what was the latest square footage on that one? Do you remember what they had the right to build?
I forget, but the township
500
committee, the township
511,000.
committee has retained me to oppose that one, and I've actually lined up
Well,
a planner from CCH on that
it's
one.
not to oppose that one, just want to
Well,
be clear.
okay, fine. It's to oppose any D variance for it.
Right.
The township committee does not oppose a warehouse as long as it doesn't need a D variance. So it's not going to need a D1 use variance. What they're applying for is a D4 FAR, an FAR
Right,
area ratio. So the township committee, thank you, Frank, Frank's right, for correcting me, has retained me to oppose any warehouse greater than the maximum floor area ratio permitted under their ordinance. And that's what I've retained a planner from CCH to put a report together to oppose also. If they come down to what the permitted FAR is, we don't oppose it. Correct, Frank?
we don't oppose it legally, morally we oppose it, but legally we
Not
won't
legal,
challenge it
right,
because, it's granted through their zoning, right? So,
right.
but let's say it's 500,000 now, they want to go up to 800,000, for example. We oppose them going up to 800,000. We just think that the quality of life for our residents with all the truck traffic and everything would be detrimental.
So that's the second one.
That's
Yes,
the second one. There's a third one on Strikers Road. 500,000, I think.
Yeah, 511,000.
There you go. Strikers Road, 511,000.
I thought
Right
it was
now-
700, actually.
Oh,
I thought it
even
was
worse.
bigger than that.
I'll take Mike's word on it. So
Is
700,000,
that low, Pat?
Yes.
low pat, right on Strikers Road,
Yep.
right past Rath's Deli, up that road.
Stone's throw
across-
from Greenwich.
It's a stone's throw. It's across from the solar field. All right. So we got 1 million square foot there, 500,000 there, 700,000 here. Greenwich is being surrounded by warehouses. This is why we oppose another 1 million square foot warehouse that they're trying to put in over in Franklin. So right now it's just the area need a redevelopment. If it's zoned for 1 million, we're not going to oppose it. Morally, we're against it. But we're not going to fight something that's legally, their right to do.
Right, but what the township is opposed to is Franklin entering into a pilot agreement to help finance this big warehouse.
So the quality of life of our residents is deteriorating. I don't know about you, but I'm already getting complaints. I hear it myself. I see it myself. We're inundated with trucks. We're probably at 10% of our future capacity, and we're already getting complaints about trucks. If this 1 million square foot warehouse happens.
Yeah,
So
Frank, it's interesting because I think the one, I think I understand a little bit more why they spent a bunch of money redoing the bridge on Route 173 for a year. That bridge connects the truck stop to Route 22 to the shopping area. I mean, it in theory connects it to the large warehouse up on Route 22, although there's obviously another exit there. And it hadn't occurred to me when they originally started doing that project, but I believe in the process of redoing that bridge, they eliminated the weight limit, which means that road now has no weight limit.
we're going to look at weight limit on Dumont Road now to try to protect our town a little bit.
Yeah, we had a weight limit. I forget what it was now. I forget what it was, but we had a weight limit on 173.
There's still a weight limit on 173, right? It hasn't changed. It's a limit of 10 tons.
Due to the bridge or just for some
Nothing
other
to do with
reason?
the bridge. That stretch of road has a weight limit on it.
Okay. Well, I didn't notice any signs because I run through there all the time and it seems like the signs disappeared. So
Well,
it's
just
good to
one
know
of-
that there's a weight limit there because that's also a workaround for the truck for the way station.
And just one other thing about trying to protect the residents from all this truck traffic. We are hiring special police officer now. We're looking to bring in somebody that's going to be responsible for, watching the trucks on our roads. Part-time person that's retired or something, but that is something we're looking to do. Because it seems like we're the only town that really cares about all these trucks coming in the area. Nobody else seems to care. Anyway, that was my update. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's hard being in the planning district. It's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm surprised, Mike, well, he can't talk about it. I'm surprised that the Franklin
He can't talk about it.
No, I'm
right?
talking to you, John.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
surprised the Franklin warehouse. I would have thought that would have been in the preservation area, but I guess not. I couldn't, right? It wouldn't be approved if it was in the preservation area, would it?
I don't think so.
Not
I mean,
unless they,
it would
not
be
unless-
certainly
remember-
be a higher hurdle to get it approved.
not unless they made it a center. Remember when you guys had me oppose the asphalt plant? That had been in a preservation area, which they made part of a center, a Highland Center. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question.
Oh, Ray, I got one last thing I think everybody should know. The Highlands is doing an economic feasibility study.
And Frank, the guy finally sent me an email back. I'm going to do a follow-up to try to find out about it. Frank had asked me to contact the guy. He said basically, yeah, we're doing it, but I can't talk to you. Someone must have said something to him, so now he can talk to me. So I'm going to be giving him a call either tomorrow or next week.
Anyway, when I hear Highlands economic feasibility study, I worry about targeted development. And we're in the planning area. So as soon as I read that, my antennas went up and I contacted John. I said, what's this all about? Greenwich is going to oppose any kind of directed development to our town.
Yeah, I had never heard of it until Frank called me.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Well, very good. Thanks for the update, Frank. So unless anybody has anything else, does anybody on the board have any other comments or questions before we close out 2020? I'm not hearing anything. So I just wanted to wish everybody a happy holiday. It's a different kind of holiday this year with COVID. These meetings have been interesting for sure this year, doing them virtually. I look forward to being able to go out for a beer after a meeting. I guess I could still do that, but I might be by myself, so not quite as interesting a proposition.
I'll be with you,
For
Rick.
those of you who know me, you can vouch for that. But everybody have a great holiday, and I hope you all have happy, healthy holidays, and we'll see you in the new year on January 14th. Correct, Susanna?
Correct.
You too, and everybody.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Hey, Greg.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year.
Do me a favor, someone just make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to close.
Oh, sorry, John.
To adjourn.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed?
See ya.
Abstain?